Well, welcome to the show. My name is
Hello.
Alex,
Mhm.
and I have Instagram and YouTube Love Sugar Show.
Awesome. Didn't we have to reschedule from like some storms in your area?
Yeah, apparently I lost power for like 9 full hours. No internet, no nothing, no
Oh,
candles.
wow. Just in the dark.
Yeah, but now things are okay, so we're good.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad.
So the first question that I ask anyone that I ever interview is, how's everything going in your world, not just in your music life, but also in your personal life as well?
I was going great. I can't complain. I've got a wonderful, supportive partner. I've got some three dogs and two cats that I love, so I can't complain.
Yeah, animals are the best, for sure.
Yes, they make my life so much better.
For sure. I love your hair, by the way. It's very
Thank you.
colorful. So, I want to talk about this album. I know it's already released and it's been out for a little bit. How do you feel now that it's finally out into the world?
Oh my God, it's such a relief to have it out there in in life. We've been sitting on it for we had to sit on it for almost 2 years before we released it. And some of the songs we had had recorded or written for years because we wrote it like right after the last album. So it's nice to finally have it out there in the world.
Oh, wow. That's a little bit. How do you feel like that it took so long, I guess, to finally make it out there?
I mean, it's just part of life. Sometimes things happen fast and sometimes they happen slow. And it just happened in the amount of time it was meant to. We just kept being creative, and when we had enough creativity, we put it all into an album, and then you have to do all the behind the scenes work of getting art and distribution and lining all these other things up.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm glad that it's finally out. I listened to it a few times because I had a little bit of time and I loved it. So I think you guys did a really great job on it.
Yay! Well, thank you.
So I want to talk a little bit about the album since it has been out for a little bit. What does it mean to you personally?
It's just the next evolution for Blackwater. It's the culmination of everything we've done in like the decade that we've been a band, and we we always try to evolve and top ourselves every time we write something new, and everything I've been hearing from people has been so positive, and I feel like the vision was
Yeah.
realized.
Did you do anything new in this album or did you try experiment with anything?
I personally worked on my vocals a lot to get more of a mid-range in there. I've always
Mhm.
kind of and to improve my lows on recordings because I feel like it represents well live, but getting it on a recording has been a a task
Yeah.
because it's sometimes just easier to do things at live than it is in the studio. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. And we recorded it ourselves. We sent it off to be mixed and mastered, but recording it ourselves really gave us some time to sit with the songs a little bit longer and
Hmm.
be feel free to be more creative.
So you said that you recorded it yourselves. Was it like something that you had to learn how to do? Did you already know how to do that, or did it like come with its challenges?
It definitely came with some of its own challenges, but luckily Jeremy, our guitar player, had already had some recording experience and just watching YouTube tutorials and making it happen.
YouTube tutorials are great. You can learn how to do anything from YouTube.
Yeah, there's so much information out there for free.
Exactly. So, for people who are listening or just discovering the band for the first time, let's say that they listen to this album, how would you describe in 3 words this album to them?
Melodic, heavy, and brooding, I would say.
Is there a song that you would recommend for them to listen to first to kind of get them hooked in so they want to finish the album or just kind of introduce them to the band?
I would probably say "Chains of Ages" is the probably the bounciest song on the album, and it seems to be a crowd favorite.
And would you recommend any other songs to them?
I really love "Devour" and "Washed Out, Washed Away." Especially "Washed Out, Washed Away." I really um worked hard on the lyrics for that and let myself be really creative
Yeah.
in ways that I hadn't before. So I'm proud of that one.
Is that like your favorite song on the album?
I think it might be. It kind of changes back and forth depending on the day.
Would you say it's like the heart song of the album, or do you think that belongs to a different track?
It's so hard to say because I've I feel like Devour is might be the heart song for me personally because
Hmm.
I really like the clean singing in that one, and it's something a little special for me personally, but then my other bandmates might say something else.
Yeah, and it can also change, I think, with the day, depending on what day you're asked, but it's on the
Oh
internet.
yeah.
You can never change it.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, in the writing process, was there like a moment where you personally realized, like, yeah, this album is something special, or where it just clicked and you're like, okay, this is happening?
There were several instances while we were recording that we would have like a really creative moment of just like, "Ooh, let's do this," and this sounds really cool, even just as a raw track,
Yeah.
and that was exciting.
Do you have any fun stories to share from the recording process or anything like, I guess, fun that happened?
So there are so many experiences that we had doing this. We did track the drums at a friend's house that has a full studio
Hmm.
there, and that was a pretty seamless process. Then we did pre-production on it was actually Devour and Air of the Witch. We recorded those um separately from the rest because
Hmm.
we're we were trying to like release some singles and it ended up not releasing the singles and they just ended up being on the album. But I recorded those vocals in a closet, which isn't the first time. The first EP that we did, I recorded all my vocals entirely in a closet. Um, and
Wow.
then the rest of the album was recorded in the loft of Jeremy and Adia's house.
Well, I have to ask, why a closet?
Just good sound dampening. You can close the door and it's not going to have a whole bunch of stuff picking up from around the house.
Are we talking like a walk-in closet or like a really tiny closet with like a candle or
Well, there was a light. It's just like the closet light, just like a normal size closet. It wasn't a walk-in closet, but I walked into it.
that is definitely unique and fun.
Yeah.
So when you were like putting the album together, what kind of like inspired you to like how did it all start in I guess the creation of how it came to be?
So I think the first song that we wrote for this album was Air of the Witch, and we originally wrote it to be on a movie soundtrack, and it didn't end up panning out, which is fine. Um, but we specifically wrote that song to be a little bit more catchy.
Hmm.
We don't typically write songs with that sort of thing in mind. We just write riffs and then construct a song around it just based on what we feel is cool.
Hmm.
And then we had a concept for Air of the Witch is about La Llorona. And then we had a concept of like, let's make every song about some folk tale. And we
Hmm.
didn't end up doing that for all the songs either, but there's several instances where we did follow that theme, like for Incubus. Self-explanatory. We got right to the point on that one. And then I think it was Teeth and Claws. No, Death by a Thousand Cuts was originally supposed to be about a giantess and then it became something else. It's just everything evolved as we went along.
So for the folklore part of it, did you have to research that or did you guys like come together and just say like, oh, I heard this and then like how did that come about?
Well, we are all nerds, so we kind of knew a lot of the folklore already. And then when we were looking for material to write about, we just we researched it then and constructed lyrics based on that. And it was a neat writing exercise for sure because in the past I had pretty much just written about things I was going through or things I was
Yeah.
feeling, and I wanted to kind of stretch it stretch out my writing muscles and see what else I could write about just for fun.
So you kind of like branched out and tried something a little bit different with that then.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite folklore?
Mm.
I know there's so many.
I probably like the a lot of stuff. I'm in North Carolina, and in the mountains here, we have a lot of folklore around various cryptids,
Hmm.
and in the mountains, especially of Appalachia, like you don't go into the woods at night or follow any sounds you hear in the woods and things like that. And I think that's fascinating and creepy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't want to be in the woods at night anyway, and I'm not following sounds regardless of what it is.
Right? Like, mm-mm, won't catch me out there.
No, because I'm like bears. No, that's even worse. Like, no, thank
Yeah.
you. So, was there a moment where you guys were kind of stumped, or like it was like a hard to like figure out where to move forward in the album?
I definitely had a couple writing blocks on some of the songs, like Teeth and Claws. I think it was one of the last ones that we recorded, and Death by a Thousand Cuts as well, were like the last two that we recorded. And I definitely had a bit of a writing block when it came to those songs, but I'm happy with what the finished product came out to be, and kind of opened my mind to being more collaborative with the writing of those.
Yeah. And as far as like collaborations, can you kind of tell me a little bit about how the collaborations kind of, I guess, came together on this album?
Yeah, we actually wanted to do more and just ran out of time. So on the next one, we'll have a bunch of what I hope to do some actual vocal collaborations. This one, we had two guest guitar players in Yo Onitian on Incubus and Greg from Legion. And our guitar player, Ron, is always looking up cool guitar stuff. He's a huge music nerd and hit up those guys to be on the album. He picked them and showed them to us, and we're like, yeah, that's good. We agree with this.
Do you have any ideas of who you'd like to see on a future album or any dream artists that you'd like to see?
Ah, man, I have so many, but I know I would really love to have Travis from uh, Enterprise Earth, and I would love Joe Bad from Fit for an Autopsy. I think he's a badass. And then, mm, if I had my super wish, it would be Angela, formerly from Arch Enemy, to do a
Mhm.
guest, but I don't think she does that stuff anymore. So that would be because that was an artist that I kind of learned how to do screams from. I
Mhm.
When I first heard Arch Enemy, I'm like, that's a girl doing that. I want to do that. So that would be a bucket list person for sure.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I mean, we girls got to represent.
Yeah, for sure.
So, when creating this album, did it change you personally? Like, did it help you get through any sort of like personal stuff or sorrows or anything deep that you were going through, or is it just based off of non-personal things?
Oh, definitely. There's a lot of very personal lyrics in this album and in all of our albums as well, because I write when I'm feeling something to try to just get it out on paper, and it's a form of just therapy to get it out of my brain and onto paper. It helps me process the feeling a little bit more. So a lot of these were from that. And like Devour especially, I wrote while I was going through a tough friendship breakup of a very long-term friend, and it
Hmm.
just become a toxic situation, and that was the inspiration for that song.
Do you think it like, do you want it to help other people, or is it just like more like therapeutic for yourself?
I would love if it helps other people. I don't necessarily write things with that intent in mind, because I don't want it to seem trite or like I'm trying to be like, it's gonna be okay. But hopefully by listening to my catharsis, someone else can feel some relief from that as well.
So, what kind of deep themes will people, if they haven't heard the album, will they encounter?
I would say determination and grit through hard times is what a lot of it. is written about. And even if it's angry, it's sort of a positive, just like I'm going to get through this no matter what.
Very true. And I feel like sometimes you need that angry music when you're feeling like crap because it just like I don't know, it just makes you feel better. It's weird how that works.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like therapy for free.
It is.
So, what song do you think most fans are going to enjoy off of that album?
um, Probably between, I don't know, Air of the Witch, Incubus, and Chains of Ages, I think are the most immediately accessible songs that I think people will grab onto. But I'm interested to hear what what people like.
Yeah, one thing I've definitely liked doing when listening to new albums is I kind of just put my phone down, just kind of like be in the album. Do you think that's a different experience than, listening to the album and multitasking?
Yeah, 100%. Because then you can actually pay attention to what's going on. When you're multitasking, you can get like the idea of it and get the feeling. But when you put down everything and really just focus on the music, you just get so much more out of it.
And with this album, do you think people need to do that? And what do you think they can take away from that?
Yeah, I would love for people to do that. We put a lot of wild guitar harmonies and so much orchestration in there that I think is really well served by giving it your full attention.
And you can get off your phone for an hour, just
Yeah,
be in the
just like
moment.
leave the world behind for a minute and listen to some music.
Exactly. So I know you mentioned that you made one of the songs for a movie. Can you tell us what movie that was?
Yeah, it's like I think the movie is actually called Air of the Witch, and I believe I'm not sure where it was released. I think it did eventually come out, but it was crazy during COVID times. Yeah, that's when that was when we wrote it. Actually, was right during all of COVID, and we just kind of lost touch with everything because all their stuff got moved back and our stuff got moved back. So, but I think it did. It was eventually released. It's a horror movie.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you get another opportunity and get to write something else because it sounds like it definitely helped you create some new creative processes and things. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
So just kind of a fun question. If your album was like releasing at a store for a launch, which store would you want to see it in?
Mm, that's a good question. I guess I would love to see it at places like frickin' Target. I want to see it in the most normal place that anybody can get it at.
Honestly, I think Target is a great one because so many shoppers shop there and they don't have as
Yeah.
music selection anymore as they used to. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
So, and I have to ask, since the album's out, it's already been released, what's next for the band?
So we just completed a little tour with our buddies in Filth. And then coming up, we have some dates with Infected Rain in May. And we have a couple other short tours that aren't announced yet coming up. That'll be in the summer.
So there's still more to look forward to.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's awesome. And I have to ask you, since people have already listened to it, what do you hope that they take away? Like, what did you put in the album that you want people to feel or, hear?
I hope that they get from it that whenever we write an album or just songs in general, I love having sharp contrast where we have heavy, but you also have melody. And I feel like having both of those things together makes both of them pop more. So I hope that they just get that head bob going and really, really feel something.
Yeah, for sure. People need to feel that.
Yeah.
And I know you said you just finished a mini tour. Did you play some of the songs on this album there as well?
Yes, we played a bunch of them off of the new album. I think we played how many songs? Seven. We played 7 songs and only I think we played four or five from the new album. I cannot remember our set list for the life of me right now.
So how did you feel the first time when you're playing something brand new that no one has like heard before?
Oh God, I hope I don't fuck up.
But to be fair, most people won't know if it's new, right? So you got that.
That's very true. It's very true, but I will know.
It's okay. You can just discuss it later and be like, "Oh yeah, I messed up during that part." Hopefully, no one knows. Are you working on like a new album or anything in the future, or are you just focused on touring right now?
We're still writing some stuff in the background. It's definitely taking a little bit of a backseat to just how busy we are with all the album stuff right now, but we're still writing.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I do have one last question here for you.
All
For
right.
anyone who wants to see you in the future on tour, or anyone interested in listening to the album, or any fans, is there anything you'd like to say to them?
Uh, that's always such a difficult question. I always want to say something cool and inspiring. Um, I guess I would have to say don't give up on your dreams. I've been doing this for a very long time and just you can't you can't give up on things that give you life. And whatever makes you feel alive, you just fight for it. Fight with your teeth and claws and don't give up.
Well, no pressure or anything. Well, for anyone who does want to listen to the album, the awesome thing is it's already out. The album background's in the back, and I'll leave all the links below, so it makes it super easy for you guys to click on. Go support the band, buy the album, listen to it, stream it. I've listened to it probably 4 times now, and it is so good. So you definitely don't want to miss out on this one.
Thank you.